2018, a 41-year-old financial compliance officer in Denver, Colorado, was found dead inside his downtown condominium. The initial report classified it as a cardiac event. There were no signs of forced entry, no defensive injuries, and no indication of theft. His laptop was open on the dining table. A glass of water sat untouched beside it. At first glance, it looked routine, but the timeline wasn't. At 6:42 p.m., building access logs showed his keycard entering the lobby. Elevator cameras confirmed he was alone. At 7:03 p.m., his neighbor heard what sounded like furniture shifting, followed by silence. By 8:15 p.m., his smartwatch recorded a sudden spike in heart rate, then a complete stop. The autopsy later revealed traces of a fast-acting sedative in his bloodstream. Not enough to immediately kill, just enough to weaken resistance. The victim had been preparing an internal report for a federal regulator. His job involved auditing offshore financial transfers tied to shell corporations. 2 weeks before his death, he had flagged irregular transactions connected to a private defense subcontractor. That subcontractor had previously employed a third-party security consultant, a former military contractor with access credentials to multiple commercial buildings in the area. Building maintenance logs revealed something subtle. 3 days before the death, a routine fire alarm inspection had been scheduled for the victim's floor. The contractor overseeing it signed in for 27 minutes. Cameras showed him entering the hallway but never entering any unit. Except digital forensics later showed the victim's smart lock had briefly disengaged during that same window. On the night of the death, no forced entry was recorded, because none was needed. The lock had already been reprogrammed earlier in the week using temporary override access, something only a certified building systems technician could do. The consultant resigned from the subcontractor 2 days after the incident. He relocated to another state. No charges were filed. Official cause of death remains sudden cardiac arrhythmia complicated by sedative interaction. The compliance report the victim had been drafting was never submitted, and the irregular transactions he flagged were quietly reassigned to another department. Investigators closed the case within 6 weeks. But one question still remains. If it was a natural death, why did someone schedule a fire inspection 3 days before he died?